Hello everyone, and welcome to Advances in Perspective, the channel where we explore the fascinating world of science fiction and fantasy. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about one of the most intriguing and mysterious shows ever made, Sapphire and Steel. Sapphire and Steel was a British series that ran from 1979 to 1982 on ITV. It starred David McCallum as Steel and Joanna Lumley as Sapphire, two of several elements that assume human form and are sent to investigate strange events involving time anomalies. The show was created by Peter J. Hammond, who conceived it under the working title The Time Menders. Sapphire and Steel is a cult classic that has influenced many other sci-fi shows, such as Doctor Who, Torchwood, Fringe, The X-Files, and Stranger Things. It's also a show that has many secrets and mysteries that have never been fully explained. In this video, we're going to reveal 5 amazing things about Sapphire and Steel that you may not know. Let's get started. The show was inspired by a haunted castle. Peter J. Hammond came up with the idea for Sapphire and Steel after staying in an allegedly haunted castle in Scotland with his wife. He said he felt a very strong sense of something else being there, and wondered what would happen if time itself was haunted by ghosts from different eras. He also wanted to create a show that was different from the typical sci-fi fare of aliens, spaceships and robots. He was inspired by the atmosphere and history of the castle, which had been built in the 16th century and had witnessed many events such as wars, murders and executions. He imagined that these events could leave traces or echoes in time that could be disturbed by modern influences such as electricity or radio waves. He also thought about how people could interact with these time anomalies and what kind of agents could deal with them. This led him to create Sapphire and Steel, two mysterious beings who could manipulate time and space. The show had no budget. Sapphire and Steel was produced by ITV, one of ITV's regional franchises, which had very little money to spend on special effects or sets. As a result, the show relied heavily on atmosphere, dialogue, sound design, and imagination. Most of the stories took place in isolated locations, such as an old house, a railway station, or an apartment building, with minimal props or costumes. The show also used stock footage or photographs for some scenes involving historical events or characters. The program had been allocated a minuscule production budget, which led to the use of simple staging and minimal special effects. This ultimately contributed to the uneasy atmosphere of the show, as it created a sense of realism and claustrophobia. The show also made use of lighting and shadows to create mood and tension. The show's creator Peter J. Hammond said that he preferred to suggest rather than show, and that he wanted to leave things to people's imaginations. The show had no continuity. Sapphire and Steel was not meant to be watched in any particular order, or have any consistent backstory or rules. Each story was self-contained, and could be set in any time period or location. The characters of Sapphire and Steel were never given any explanation for their origin or purpose. They were simply agents of some unknown authority that assigned them to cases involving time breaches. They also had different abilities depending on the story, such as telepathy, shape-shifting, freezing time, or melting metals. The show had no happy endings. Sapphire and Steel was notorious for having bleak endings that often left the characters trapped, dead or worse. There was no guarantee that they would succeed in their missions or save anyone from harm. In fact, some stories implied that their interventions may have caused more damage than good. The show also had no humor or romance to lighten the mood. It was dark, serious, and sometimes disturbing. The endings of the stories were often ambiguous and open-ended, leaving many questions unanswered and many possibilities open. For example, in the first story, Sapphire and Steel managed to stop a time breach caused by nursery rhymes, but they also erase a family from existence and leave a young boy alone with an elderly soldier from World War I. In the third story, they prevent a time trap involving a ghostly faceless man, but they also condemn a young woman to live forever in a photograph. In the sixth and final story, they face an enemy known only as the Darkness, which traps them in an interdimensional void with no escape. The show had a lasting legacy. Sapphire and Steel was a cult hit that gained a loyal fan base over the years. It was praised for its originality, creativity, and atmosphere. It influenced many other sci-fi and fantasy shows, such as Doctor Who, Torchwood, The X-Files, and Fringe. It also spawned various spin-offs and adaptations, such as novels, comics, audio dramas, and a proposed remake by Neil Cross. The show also had a lasting impact on its stars, Joanna Lumley and David McCallum. Lumley said that playing Sapphire was one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done, and that she loved working with McCallum. McCallum said that playing Steel was a wonderful experience, and that he was proud of the show. They both reprised their roles for the audio series by Big Finish Productions in 2005. And those are 5 amazing things about Sapphire and Steel. What do you think? Have you seen this classic sci-fi show? Do you have any theories about its mysteries? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to Advances in Perspective for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.